Magnitude of water's impact on our lives. It is a fundamental resource, often taken for granted, yet its management and conservation are paramount to our survival and prosperity. Today we delve into the significance of water conservation, guided by expert insights from a professor at Istanbul Technical University. As we transition from understanding water's significance, let's pause for a moment and appreciate its beauty and power. Imagine a serene waterfall, cascading down a rocky cliff, its roar echoing through the lush green valley. The mist from the fall sprays over the surrounding foliage, creating a vibrant rainbow against the backdrop of a clear blue sky. This magnificent sight is just one of the many ways water graces our planet. But water is not just a resource. It is the source of life itself. It nourishes the earth, sustains ecosystems, and provides for all forms of life. As we marvel at the waterfall's beauty and power, let's remember the importance of conserving every drop. Every droplet saved is a step towards ensuring the survival and prosperity of our world. Let's treat water with the respect it deserves, for it is truly the lifeblood of our planet. In the bustling city of Istanbul, the filling rate of dams supplying water now stands at a remarkable 81.29%. This figure translates into a staggering 310.10 million cubic meters of water supplied to the city from various sources. However, it's important to note that the daily water consumption in Istanbul amounts to 3.09 million cubic meters. The scale of these numbers underscores the importance of efficient water management. Our expert, a professor from Istanbul Technical University, has highlighted the need for efficient water resource management. And while Istanbul's current dam levels are commendable, the expert warns of potential water scarcity issues should consumption continue to rise unchecked. Rain harvesting and water conservation practices, he suggests, are key to maintaining and improving these water levels. These practices can be as simple as improving water usage efficiency in our homes and workplaces, but they can also involve larger-scale initiatives like planning irrigation systems more effectively, particularly in the field of agriculture, which is a significant consumer of water. In summary, water conservation is a shared responsibility. It is incumbent upon us all to use this precious resource wisely, to understand its value and to respect its limitations. Istanbul's current dam levels are a testament to effective water management, but the city, like many others worldwide, faces a future where water consumption may outstrip supply. The expert's advice is clear. Adopt water conservation practices, harness the power of rain harvesting, and plan irrigation systems wisely. The importance of water in our lives cannot be overstated, and its conservation is a crucial aspect of our collective future. Without water, there is no life. So remember, every drop counts.
Chers amis de l'eau, bonjour. Aujourd'hui, je vais m'adresser à vous en anglais par respect pour nos intervenants du jour. Merci de passer au français pour ceux qui le souhaitent en cliquant sur le petit globe en bas de l'écran. Dear friends of water, welcome. Thank you for your participation to our video conference today. As I just tell you, I will speak in English by respect to our today's speakers from Istanbul in Italy. I really thank you for your fidelity. It is always agreeable to be recognized by peers. I send you my best from Chihuahua, Mexico, where IME was invited by the French Embassy and ANEAS, the National Mexican Operator Association, that participate to the organization of the 6th World Water Forum in 2006 in Mexico, to present experiences from Mediterranean region and cities facing climate change. This cooperation between regions of the world correspond also to our new manner to prepare the regional process of the next World Water Forum in Riyadh in 2027, and to propose to the World Water Council members from other regions of the world to join us in our job as co-chair of the Worldwide Observatory Project on non-conventional water resources and renewable energy. Mrs. Reto Marsudi new special envoy on water for United Nations, recently declared. A meta-analysis of the World Bank's countries, climate, and development reports shows that across the globe, water-related climate risk threaten the very systems that sustain us: food, health, energy, economies, and the ecological network that support life on Earth. On this matter, I'm very pleased today to welcome one of our new members, ISKI, the water and sewage company of the magnificent city of Istanbul, as you could see in the little movie at the beginning of this conference. This first presentation of the potable water and sewage master plan of this mega city will be below by a first series of question and response. So please use the chat to ask your question during the ISKI presentation. IME is very proud to welcome ISKI as member, and I would like here to thank Dr. Safak Bassa, ISKI General Manager, for this decision. This membership brings to us the experience of how to manage a city of more than 20 million inhabitants. I was in Mexico City yesterday, and I had the opportunity to visit one of the biggest, if not the biggest, sewage treatment plant of the world, designed for 35 cubic meters per second and operating today at 22 cubic meters per second, almost 2 million cubic meters per day. Here, we enter in another dimension. Then we will leave the floor to our friend from Italy, our 12th Mediterranean country of our series of planification and water management experiences. We remember you that we are preparing together with UFM the next Mediterranean Water Forum that should take place in the city of Rome in 2026. But we will have other opportunity in next year to come back to you on this very important subject for our institution. These two presentations will be animated by our Vice President of the Scientific and Technical Committee, François Gerber. I wish you an excellent conference. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay with you, as you could understand, to all the meeting. I have my own speech to do in a moment here. I remember you, this webinar is registered and you could be broadcast from our YouTube channel next week. Our next conference will take place in January on the following thematic: the role of dams in the future, with a presentation from France, Spain, Morocco, and Tunisia. François, thank you very much for your engagement. The floor is yours, and I wish to all of you a very interesting and very good meeting. Thank you very much and see you soon.
Bien, merci Monsieur le Président. Donc je continue en français. Vous pouvez donc avoir la traduction en anglais sur le monde. Donc je suis moi aussi très content d'être là parmi vous. J'ai vu dans la liste des inscrits plus de 180 participants de 17 pays et donc de nombreux amis fidèles dans cette série de webinaires. Et cette série va, comme l'a dit le président, alimenter toutes les réflexions en vue de nos prochaines réunions des forums méditerranéens. Et ceci se fait grâce à la qualité des interventions, hein. Donc, je remercie d'ores et déjà les orateurs, car j'ai eu la chance de voir un petit peu à l'avance leur présentation et je vous assure que ça va être d'un très grand intérêt. Alors, de mon côté aussi, je vous rappelle que nous ferons attention donc au timing, hein. Nous avons 3 orateurs, donc avec 20 minutes chacun. Je leur demande de faire attention à respecter le temps pour que l'on puisse aussi faire part de questions. Donc, les questions, vous les posez sur le chat et j'essaye, moi, de me faire l'interprète des questions qui sont les plus souvent posées en fin d'exposé, donc après l'exposé sur la Turquie, pas sur Istanbul, et puis même chose, après les exposés sur l'Italie, on aura une séance de questions. Donc je m'excuse par avance auprès des orateurs si je leur dis d'accélérer pour respecter le timing, mais je pense que c'est important de laisser de la place aux questions. Alors pour commencer, donc sans attendre, j'accueille Monsieur Tunay Charpar, qui est le responsable de la direction de la recherche et du développement à l'administration pour l'eau et l'assainissement de la métropole d'Istanbul. Vous allez voir qu'il va nous parler de la planification de ce qu'on appelle le petit cycle de l'eau. En français, on distingue le grand cycle qui est à l'échelle du bassin versant et le petit cycle qui est à l'échelle des agglomérations. Mais ici, l'agglomération d'Istanbul est tellement grande que c'est presque pareil qu'une région. Et on va voir les similitudes qu'il y a avec d'autres planifications que l'on a vues dans les séminaires, dans les webinaires précédents. Donc, Monsieur Charpar, je vous laisse la parole. Si vous pouvez, on va mettre votre présentation en ligne et vous avez 20 minutes.
Thank you very much for your nice introduction. First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity for bringing us together for this technical webinar. I also say hello for all experts from different countries of the globe. Before starting my presentation, I want to say that water is a shared value of all humanity. So we all have to protect it and make collaboration for this purpose. Today, I want to talk about Istanbul Drinking Water and Sewerage Master Plan. For İSKİ, we have a tradition of making master plans. In the mid-70s, we had a DAMOC plan, and 1999, we have our second master plan, and we decided to make revision, a new master plan in 2019. And we started our project and finished it in 2023. It was a long journey to finish this. The main purpose of our master plan to make to provide a strong infrastructure for a strong future. The main vision of İSKİ to be the leading institution for holistic water management in a water sensitive city. So the main purpose of our master plan can be summarized as to be a water sensitive city, to make Istanbul a water sensitive city, which has a resilient and sustainable water management issues. Also, we are trying to make it digital transition in our administration, and trying during this master plan project, we made good works to make a digital twin of the whole infrastructure of the city. The major parts of our master plan is drinking water part, wastewater part, And the water treatment part, we can count here drinking water treatment plants and wastewater treatment plants and their policies we should follow here. Also, we have rainwater and creeks part. And in the end, during the master plan, we also studied the whole organizational structure of the İSKİ, Istanbul Sewage and Water and Sewage Administration. For drinking water and drinking water treatment, first of all, we should make population estimations for the future. And for this, we should calculate water demand and lots of outlines, e.g., earthquake, water quality, historical water structures in Istanbul in this part. During this part, we investigated 17 existing water source facilities along with 21 potential water source facilities. In Istanbul, we give city nearly 3.5 million meters cube of water per day. It is nearly 1.3 billion meters cubes of water each year. Also, we have an increasing population, so we should investigate and plan our future water supply management properly. Firstly, we make our works for decreasing leak and loss rate. Now our loss rate is below 19%, but in the near future we are planning to reach 15%. And the official population in the after 30 years is found as nearly 21 million, and the water demand of the city is 1.6 billion meters per year. So we should make our plans and investigate our potential water resources and make plannings regarding to this value. These are our present water resources and their efficiency. During this study, we both make plans to increase the efficiencies of our present water resources and look for new ones. And in 30 years, we decided how much water should be taken from each water resource. These are the new 5 dams we are planning to construct in the next 30 years to fill the gap for the supply and the demand of water needs of the city. We also investigated all water tanks in sub-regions, pipelines, and pumping stations. We make working plans for them to decrease the energy consumption of our system. Now, most of the regions are given, the water is given to most of the regions by pumping stations, but after applying our plans, we are aiming to reach more than 90% of water will be distributed to the city by gravity. So it will be a great opportunity for us to decrease our energy consumption and carbon footprints. Also, we are making plans to increase the water quality of the for the city because we are aiming to give high quality drinkable water to our customers. And now the water quality of the city is good, but we are aiming to increase the quality for taste and odor. Also, we plan the capacities of drinking water treatment plants in the following 30 years. In which year, which improvement should be done for each treatment plant has been evaluated. Also, we are planning some seawater desalination plans for our islands. So we are making our plans for these facilities. Wastewater treatment part, we after investigating the drinking water capacity of the city, we also examined the wastewater capacity of the city because the aquatic system we discharge our treated water is Marmara Sea. It is a very critical sea, so we are in order to protect Marmara Sea, we should increase the quality and the capacity of our wastewater treatment plants. We have 26 wastewater collection basins and more than 2,000 kilometers of wastewater collector lines. We make improvements for increasing the performance of our wastewater collection system. And nearly more than 90% of the city has separate infrastructure for wastewater and stormwater. We divide the city into basins and we make numeric models for each basins and calculated the wastewater capacities. In the final stage, preliminary designs of the selected alternatives for the improvement of wastewater collection pipes, we make our plans to rehabilitate and increase the capacity of our wastewater collection system. Also, we plan the investment for each year. We have more than 90 urban wastewater treatment plants, but 10 of them are large ones. In the next decades, we are planning to increase the technologies and the capacities of our wastewater treatment plants. Now, more than 60% of wastewater is being treated by using advanced biological treatment plants. In the next decade, we will reach 100% for this number. These are the capacities of our smaller wastewater treatment plants with the bigger ones. Also, we have sludge management issue because after treating the wastewater, we come up with a large number of tons of sludge. So we are making our plans for this sludge management. We have discussed that the sludge from a wastewater is a resource for some raw materials or it is something to be disposed. So we are now investigating the pyrolysis capacities of our sludge, and we are trying to gain energy for this, and also some other minerals and maybe heavy metals. We have research and development works going on, and our master plan also investigated this issue. Rainwater and streams for our municipality and our administration is also responsible for rainwater management. So we also investigated the hydrology and sustainable urban drainage systems for the city. We are now using innovative applications and ecological corridors along the streams, and for each stream in Istanbul, we prepare these plans in our master plan. During this work, we investigated more than 6,000 CAD files and made a digital twin of our rainwater drainage infrastructure, and make models, investigated all pipelines, and find out which lines, which pipes, or which creeks are sufficient or not, and make plans for the insufficient creeks and pipelines to increase the range capacity of here. And we made a mind map, and for each map, for each pipe in Istanbul, for the both wastewater treatment and rainwater, stormwater treatment, we have the information that is it proper, if it is it properly working or not. If it is not, we have also investigated the reason of this issue. Maybe some slope problems, maybe cross-section problems, maybe some sort of material of the pipe may be a problem. We also investigated all of these, and then we made our solutions for this issue. Now, for all pipe under Istanbul, we know that if it is proper or not, and if it is not proper, we have the solution, and we have our investment plans for this. Also, for new urbanized areas, we made our new drainage system. We have planned lots of rainwater collection systems for problematic areas. After we found out numerical modeling, hydraulic modeling, after meteorological, hydrological modeling, we made hydraulic modeling by using Innovice softwares. For the streams, we made all these plans also, and we are considering our streams as ecological corridors, and make our plans trying to increase the ecological corridors in Istanbul, especially in urbanized areas, like the ones in Seoul, South Korea, Cheongchong Stream. It is one of the major projects we inspire. Also, after our hydraulic modelings, we found out flooding areas, and we are using these data. We have these data, these flood maps for all Istanbul for urbanization plans, and not only we are increasing the drainage capacities of our systems, we also want municipalities to make urbanization regarding to flood risks, flood risk levels. Also, we have some regulations and flood risk management issues. So we make some suggestions for this issue. Also, we are planning a flood forecasting and early warning system for Istanbul. During master plan, we prepared all infrastructure for this system. Now our system is working for one basin, and now we are improving our system. For the corporate structure, we make financing models for all investments I mentioned before, and our asset management issues, also with our human resources issues and corporate structure. For the corporate structure, we have lots of departments, and to increase the coordination and efficiency of our system, we made serious workshops and studies for this. Also, we examined the tariffs we should follow in the next decades for the financing models. For each financing models, we have our tariff plannings. Also, we investigating the different scenarios, maybe using credits or not, maybe using small credits, large credits. So we have lots of financing and investment models for the master plan. These are some of the examples for our tariff and total investment graphs showing the future tariffs and investments. Lots of scenarios we have, and the decision was left to our officers, our general board. During our master plan, we planned a strong infrastructure for a strong future. To be on time, I made a bit fast presentation, but I think I mentioned the general topics. So if you have questions, it would be honor for me to answer. Thank you very much for listening.
Alors, merci vraiment beaucoup, Monsieur Tcherpar. C'était vraiment très complet, et vous avez en plus bien respecté le temps, comme vous venez de le dire, ce qui permet de poser quelques questions. Moi, j'ai noté l'intérêt d'avoir une planification au niveau d'une grande métropole. Dans les webinaires précédents, nous avons vu des planifications pour des grands bassins versants, mais on se rend compte qu'il y a beaucoup de similitudes entre les deux sortes de plans, de plans stratégiques. Et donc certainement en Turquie, le plan national va tenir compte de votre plan d'agglomération, puisqu'on retrouve les mêmes outils, le besoin d'information au départ, les scénarios à préparer avec des possibilités de comparaison, également des modèles qui aident à prévoir la situation future. Et puis, ce que vous avez dit aussi à la fin, très important, les simulations financières qui donnent un caractère très réaliste à ces plans, hein. Alors, je vais me faire l'interprète. Donc, il y a deux questions qui ont été posées. L'une concerne les barrages. Donc, puisque vous avez des réservoirs d'eau pour alimenter la ville, est-ce qu'il y a des problèmes d'envasement, hein, c'est-à-dire de terre qui va réduire la capacité de ces barrages à cause de l'érosion? Est-ce que vous avez des prévisions en la matière, puisque c'est ce que l'on voit dans d'autres pays comme en Tunisie ou au Maroc?
For our dams, for each dam, the lifetime of our dams, uh, each dam is being monitored and controlled by our engineers. And during master plan, we also investigated the lifetimes of our dams. And for some of dams were rehabilitated in the past in the previous years. So for the next 30 years, by a proper working and engineering services, none of our dams seems to be reach their lifetime. Land is very valuable in Istanbul. So making dams isn't so easy because you lose your lands for dams. So we are very careful to protect and protect the efficiencies of our dams in Istanbul. While planning new dams, we also try to build as yeah, less dams than the system can provide us, because in Istanbul we can have lots of creeks, you can build lots of dams, but it isn't what we want to see. So the efficiency of our dams are being regulated and controlled seriously.
D'accord. Merci. D'accord, merci beaucoup. Encore deux questions. Je vais les poser en même temps, comme ça vous pourrez répondre. Il y a une première question qui concerne les boues des stations d'épuration. Donc, vous avez dit rapidement que il y avait un programme d'incinération, hein, des boues. Est-ce qu'il y a aussi de l'épandage sur des terres agricoles? Ça, c'est une première question. Et la seconde question concerne les tarifs. Donc, vous avez montré que les tarifs sont prévus avec quelquefois des augmentations et puis des baisses de tarifs. Donc, la question, c'est comment est-ce que tout ça est discuté avec les autorités politiques ou avec peut-être la population pour faire accepter ces tarifs, les tarifs futurs.
Uh, for desalination plants, we are planning to, in master plan, we are planning to make make desalination plants for our islands, because it is difficult to transport water undersea to that islands. But also now we are trying to in our postmaster plan works, if it is necessary for us to construct a larger desalination plants for the mainland of Istanbul. We have some project works, and we are making our feasibility investigations, but it is in that level now. In the future, maybe we can make more efforts for desalination plants construction for the mainland, for a larger capacity. Your second question, I think, about tariffs. What about tariffs and the regulations, I think? In Istanbul, 1 meter cube of water is nearly $1. So during making our tariff plannings for by considering the future investments, the tariff is around $1. So we don't make $2 tariff. So it is in accordance with the regulations and the main feeling of society against tariffs of the Istanbul. So we also considered social and political issues of the tariff because it is a critical thing.
Ok, merci beaucoup pour votre réponse. Et alors, je repose la question. Peut-être ça a été traduit, pas très bien compris. La question sur les boues de stations d'épuration, c'est est-ce que les boues sont réutilisées pour l'agriculture? Vous savez, on peut épandre les boues de station pour
Sludge
l'agriculture.
management.
Sludge management, yes.
Sludge management, the sludge we are having in our wastewater treatment plants, I think you mentioned.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes.
Using our sludge in agriculture has psychological and sociological barriers because the idea of using wastewater sludge coming from wastewater treatment plant is very difficult to be accepted by the society. Now we don't use this sludge for agriculture. Also, our regulations do not allow this, especially after the pandemic. These regulations have been much more stronger. So we can only use this sludge for gaining energy. Now we have a few cement factories around the city. We dried our sludge and sent them to these cement factories, and they use this for resource of energy, and they have very tough regulations, and they monitor the burning temperature and the emissions of the factories. But in the near future, we are planning to gain some other materials from our sludge, like after pyrolysis, maybe we can have some sort of gases or maybe gasoline, etc. But now we are working on this with universities.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Je vous propose d'arrêter là, bien qu'il y ait encore d'autres questions, mais il faut passer à notre programme et voir maintenant nos amis d'Italie. En tout cas, c'était une présentation très intéressante parce que vous savez, dans l'Institut méditerranéen de l'eau, il y a trois collèges, trois sortes de membres. Les États, l'organisation gouvernementale, c'est le premier collège. Un collège aussi d'experts, mais on a un autre collège qui est celui des opérateurs, comme ISKI, un des opérateurs de grands systèmes d'eau et d'assainissement. Donc, je pense que votre exposé a intéressé beaucoup de monde. Alors, nous allons passer maintenant à notre pays, l'Italie. Et pour commencer, donc, je passe la parole à Monsieur Emilio Ciarlo, qui est directeur général de One Water Italy Committee, qui va nous parler quelques minutes. Et ensuite, nous aurons deux présentations, l'une d'un organisme de bassin et l'autre de l'ISPRA, l'organisme de recherche. Donc, Monsieur Ciarlo, vous avez la parole. Alors, comme je n'entends pas Monsieur Charlot,
Hello?
est-ce que...
Hello? Hello?
Ah, voilà.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Now you can hear me. Thank you very much.
Yes, fine. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening to you. Thank you for this invitation. Just a few moments, a few comments, just to present the event that the President Maisonier has mentioned, the Euro-Mediterranean Forum to be held in Rome in 2026. And to tell you three numbers that I have in my mind and that I think that all our Mediterranean friends need to have in their minds. First of all, let me tell you that the Euro-Mediterranean Forum will be a big gathering in Rome in 2026 and has basically three ambitions. The first one is to broaden the perimeter of our discussion from the Mediterranean area to the Euro-Mediterranean area or basin. That's why we will have as partner the Union for Mediterranean, and we try to involve the Northern European states, countries, and hopefully the European Commission and the Balkans, because we know that the water issues are something common, even if in different ways. But the water issues is now a real priority for all our countries in southern Mediterranean, in southern Europe, in northern Europe, and obviously in all the Mediterranean area. So the first thing is to broaden the geographical perimeter. The second ambition is to broaden the stakeholder community. So not only the traditional experts, the traditional blue community from Mediterranean, made up of academics and all the industry involved in the specific sector, but to enlarge the discussion to new stakeholders. For example, insurance companies. You know that all these terrible events that hit our cities, our communities with flood and with drought, especially with flood, at the moment are really causing reflection in the insurance industry, because we have to support communities and also countries that are hit by these events. So insurance companies, but also fashion systems, because the quality of water, not only the quantity of water, but also the quality of water is important. And fashion system, for example, fashion industry, for example, is maybe a new actor in the discussion about water, and can make our discussion richer, and also the awareness of the general community more important, stronger. Or other actors. For example, you know that I was seeing that in the next years that technology, but I want just to remind you that the technology industry will absorb an incredible quantity of water. Only Google, I've noted, only Google, Microsoft, and Meta have used in 2022 have used more than 2 billions of cubic meters of water. So the new water consumers, new water needs for new industry. So the second, our ambition is to involve new actors, fashion system, insurance companies, or technology industry, or for example, all the food system chain, all the food system industry, not only the farmers. We know agriculture and farmers are main actors in our discussion, in our sectors, but there is the need to involve also all the food industry, because they are more and more aware of the importance of the quality and quantity of water, and they are. We need to help them to be more sensitive about the use of water and waste of water. Then, obviously, the commitment of the Euro-Mediterranean Forum is to take the legacy of the Mediterranean, the fifth Mediterranean Forum. We were there. The legacy of the Mediterranean Forum, the conclusions, and to understand where we have gone and if we have had some advancement, if there are some setbacks, so to push the agenda that in IME and the Mediterranean processes and Mediterranean forums have defined till now. Then the three numbers, and I will leave the floor to my colleagues that will explain you what in Italy we are trying to do to face the risks and the problems that you know so well. Let me express our One Water Committee and my personal condolences and solidarity to our Spanish friends, especially to Marc Garcia Manzana, the Secretary General IME, and all our Spanish friends that have been hit by the tragedy in Valencia. We have witnessed it in Italy, other not so terrible tragedy, but very important, huge floods. And this is my first number, 3, because I remember Valencia, Emilia-Romagna in the recent months as floods, terrible floods, and the incredible flood in the Sahara. That means that this issue is very important. The other number is 2, because I come back to the quality of water. You know that I think by 2040, the plastic in Mediterranean can double. This is very important because actually you have in the Mediterranean as waste, quite 95% is made of plastic. Imagine if this plastic, to produce plastic will double in the next years, what will be the situation? The last number is 1, because according to the most recent studies, and the study has been presented in COP29 in these days, by the 2020, in 70 years, you will have 1 meter, the sea level 1 meter higher, and this means that everything will be affected by this huge change, with millions of people moving and that will be forced to leave territory. So 1, 2, and 3 are the 3 numbers that I wanted to mention. So thank you very much. We will launch our process, I think, in next year, in January, in February, next year in 2025, towards the 2026 event in October, in the end of October of 26 in Rome. We will try to move and to involve all of you, all the community. We need point of reference. We need experts in every single countries, from the north to the southern Mediterranean, from east to west. So I think with the help of Alain Maisonnier and of IME, we will do a very important work, and we will give contribution to the general discussion about water, and also to the UN conferences that we'll have in the next years in 2028, especially in 2028 and before. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Emilio, d'avoir présenté tout ce processus qui va se dérouler jusqu'à fin 2026 et qui a l'air vraiment passionnant. Vous nous avez bien donné l'eau à la bouche pour nous impliquer avec tout le réseau dans toutes ces problématiques que l'on connaît un peu, mais qui évoluent, comme vous l'avez dit, avec des nouveaux défis à relever. Bon, on en reparlera à plusieurs reprises, donc je vais passer maintenant rapidement à deux exposés donc sur l'Italie, et on est très content d'avoir des présentations de votre pays. Pour commencer, donc, je vais passer la parole à Monsieur Giovanni Michelazzo, qui est directeur technique de l'autorité de bassin du district de l'Apennin central. Donc vous verrez que c'est une partie centrale de l'Italie avec des villes connues et qui va donc nous présenter la planification justement qui est faite dans ce bassin. Je vous dis tout de suite, parce que j'ai eu la chance de regarder les diapos avant, qui va nous parler des risques, comme on l'a évoqué à l'instant, avec bien sûr l'événement de Valence qui nous a tous marqués dans le domaine de l'eau. Mais on voit que ça n'est pas limité, c'est malheureusement dans beaucoup d'endroits un risque très important. Et on n'a pas parlé beaucoup de risques dans les conférences précédentes, donc c'est intéressant. Et également, il va nous parler des systèmes d'information. Là aussi, c'est un sujet pour lequel il y a beaucoup de travail à faire. Donc, Giovanni, je vous laisse la parole. Donc, on va essayer de respecter le timing aussi.
Yes, thank you, François, and everybody. I greet everybody, and I am Giovanni Michelazzo. Thank you for the nice presentation. Technical director of one of the public administration that here in Italy manage, plan the water usage. I also bring the greetings from the general director of my administration, Professor Marco Casini, who was involved in previous work commitments. So here in Italy, the governance of water is quite composite. We have 7 national administrations, the river basin authorities. My administration is in the Central Apennines, and these administrations have the task of manage and the river basin items. So in terms of water usage prevention and management of hydrological risks, also to defend the coastal lines, and to involve a sustainability usage of the soil. Basically, we make the plans that come from the European directives. So the Water Framework Directive 2060 of 2000, and the Floods Directive, the 60 2007. And in our territory, we have these plans that manage the river basins and river systems through a territory of 42,000 square kilometers, 7 regions, so 900 municipalities, more than 9 million people, so lots of diversity of society and environments living in this territory. And also we have the capital of Italy, Rome. And we have to deal with all the other administrations that manage in Italy the water systems, like the integrated system managers and the land reclamation consortia. Yes, we talk about the water usage, but also the risk about the water and their implication on the territory. So the center of Italy is a very particular territory because of geomorphological and seismic conditions. We had very important seismic events in 2016 in central Italy that apart from the damages on the cities and the villages, it brought also an important shift in the river basin borders. So we are monitoring also this effect of these seismic events on the water usage. Then we are mapping the hydrological risk both in terms of landslides and in terms of floods events. And as a whole, we estimate that more than 1 million people in our territory are exposed to those kinds of phenomena. So drought on one side and floods risk on the other side are we know, the two faces of the same coin. And in Italy also we have a problem, an enhancing effect due to the soil consumption, the ratio of soil that passes from pervious to impervious fractions. So we estimate, and this is data from our national center, ISPRA, that at second in Italy, 2.5 square meters of soil is consumed as a mean. And at the same time, all the Mediterranean, but particularly in Italy, we are monitoring, we are registering, and an increasing effect of the global warming around the cities, like heat island effect that enhances the problems and the water usage requests. Yes, these are some data about the always increasing trends in the effects of climate change in terms of extreme events. So always these data show plus sign, plus of floods, of heat islands, landslides. So we have to face in Italy very important effects. And not last but not least, the problems also affect the fires in Italy, and the effect of fires on the usage of territory and their vulnerability, added vulnerability in terms of landslide. So in terms of water usage, the river basin authorities plan the river basin through the water management plan and a very technical component that is the permanent observatory of the water usages. So the main objectives are to keep an updated framework of the qualitative and the quantitative states of the water bodies, to analyze the pressures and the impacts brought by the human activities, to monitor the state of the water, and to analyze by means of economics approach the water usages in order to define the measures to bring an improvement, an environmental improvement of the water bodies, together with a sustainable development of the territory needs. And so we have some markers that tell us at the national scale and more specific at the single district scale, the state of severity, the state of water hydraulic crisis in our territory, and we can also monitor the evolution of this. So, for instance, you can see in the left part of the slide, September 2022, almost all the central of Italy was in high severity level. 1 year after, it was not, because of the heavy precipitation in the May and June, and 1 year afterwards, September 2024, because of lost precipitation, decrease of 40% of precipitation, and at the same time a very high temperature, +2 degrees, we estimated in the territory. The water, the state of severity come back at a high level. So we know that the drought problems have lots of components. It's not only a problem of rains, but also problems of state of the infrastructures, loss of programming on the territory between supply and offer and demands, and the way in which we manage and use the water also by means of individual behaviors. So we have some statistics. We have quite high percentage of loss in the hydraulic infrastructures, 42%. So we have to face this problem. We have to improve, to substitute this old infrastructure. Is not so easy. And we are constructing the water balance at our spatial scale in order to define the withdrawal, the losses, and the needs inside our usage. So from the point of view of hydric, from agricultural, industrial, so every usage has its amount of mean quantity, and we have to face different and also conflictual needs. We are trying to define measures at district scale in order to improve the efficiency of the infrastructures, to define and plan some more reservoirs, and to interconnect the different hydraulic systems, and to reuse wastewater, recharge the underground water bodies, and also to use new technologies in order to define the states of the water bodies and manage their problems and their solutions. So here are some more data about the amount of money that we estimate it will be needed to face the problems of water drought in territory of center of Italy, about 3 billion euros only in our district. And yes, we talk about also the technologies. So we are very investing on this. We are trying to building a monitoring system of the hydroclimatic variables and the usage of water in order to identify where the main problems are, how to face them with the right management and planning of these important water resource. And yes, so basically we are constructing a, let's say, a digital twin of our territory in order to replicate, yes, several conditions, several aspects of this reality from the administration level. So with all the data about how many people live in a part of this territory, which are the problems from the state of quality or quantity of the water bodies, or in terms of landslide and floods phenomena. And we map the zones that are prone to be involved by floods and landslide phenomena. And so we also have a view at a municipality scale in order to work with the other public administrations to define the solutions to these problems and to find the financing. Yes, these are other statistics of other parts of our territory, both in terms of landslide and floods. So yes, and we also have we are trying to cross correlate the area that were involved by fires events to those which are exposed to landslide phenomena in order to prevent damages on the territory. And yes, in our territory, we have collected through the other administration, the regions, the set of monitoring systems. So in terms of sensors of temperature, rains, hydrometric level, and with this system, we are monitoring the trend in the present, and also the comparison with the past. So in order to understand how is it going on a specific part of the territory, or in that water bodies, in that lake, in that river basin. And this give us a key to understand how is it going, the water in that part of the territory. For instance, we also have developed the cumulated value of the rainfall in various parts of all the part entire scale of the district, so that we can simulate, analyze how much water is going and where is it going.
You can go to the conclusion, please.
Yes. I could show very also other details, but basically just the last one, which is our project of digital twin of the territory, which will also be in the next future available in virtual mixed reality, in order to enhance the value of this instrument, to analyze with more efficiency the situation, and also to speak to the communities, because this you said before is a very important theme to make people understand the importance of the water resources and the water bodies that we are living. So I think I've done, and I thank you for having invited us to this event. Thank you.
Donc, merci beaucoup Giovanni pour cet exposé avec des nouveautés très intéressantes. Il y aura quelques questions après, mais je vais proposer tout de suite à Madame Martina Bussettini de faire sa présentation, et on regroupera les questions à la fin. Donc, Madame Bussettini est chef du département d'hydrologie à l'Institut national italien pour la protection et la recherche en matière d'environnement, qui est connu sous le nom de ISPRA et qui dépend du ministère de l'Environnement et de la Sécurité énergétique. Donc, Madame Bussettini, vous avez la parole. Je vous remercie je crois que vous avez dû quitter une réunion pour venir faire cette présentation. Donc, encore une fois, merci beaucoup à vous.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je ne parle pas français, so I'll switch to English. I'm very sorry not to be able to be fluent in French.
No problem, no problem.
Okay. First of all, can you see my screen?
Yes, if you can widen.
I'll switch, yeah.
Yes, okay, perfect.
Great. Okay, so as you said before, just give me a second. I have some technical problem here. Okay. So as you said before, I'm here to present national governance of water under critical climate conditions and focused on what's the issue today, which is how to face the challenge of a decreasing water quantity, and so of drought and water scarcity, and how can we manage it? How can we forecast these conditions? I'm here on behalf of the Ministry of Environment, and I work at ISPRA, which is a research institute with all environmental matrices, and we build the knowledge framework that support implementation of policy, and this happens also for water. And particularly, I lead a unit which is in charge of producing tools and methodologies to implement integrated water resource management from a quantitative, qualitative point of view, and also regarding flood and drought risk. So it doesn't seem to go. Okay, so just a few images to show you how diverse are characteristics in our countries. We go from very high mountains in the Alps to a very low land in the coast in very short distance. So there are a lot of gradients in topography, in biology, in geology, and so on. We also have a large variety of climate, from alpine to subarid climate. So we go from, I would say, not only an average of 2,600 millimeters per year of rainfall, there are points of also 5,000 in Friuli Venezia Giulia region, to really subarid climate, 380 millimeters per year. Our rivers go from really perennial, super stable hydrological regime to intermittent flashy, and of course, recently these hydrological regime are changing a lot towards intermittency. And we have a lot of dams, more than 500 are big. So it means they're higher than 10 meters and the volume is more than 100 million cubic meters. The surface of Italy is 300 more than 300 square kilometers, and we have 60 million inhabitants. So it means that the density is high, and we are using all our beautiful territory and resources. So pressures on water are really intense. We are also suffering drought, especially you can see here in 2022, we reached half the quantity of the long-term average water availability, and 2022 was really a critical year. What do we implement as water legislation or governance in Italy? Of course, we are a member of the EU, European Union, so we implement the EU legislation on all themes, like, for example, Common Agricultural Policy, Renewable Energy Directive, and most of all, the Water Framework Directive, which is really a comprehensive piece of legislation. This provides the basis for sustainable management of water resources, of flood and drought risk, climate change adaptation, subject to pressures triggered by socioeconomic factors, so energy production, agriculture, farming, which are the issue of today's talk. Science provided information and proved that if the use of water is sustainable, the communities, the ecological condition of relevant surface water bodies have to be at least in good status. And this means that they can provide us with services that are needed for the ecosystem thriving on, and also for us, socio-economic, for society and economy. And also, we know that groundwater use is sustainable if we have a positive hydrological balance, where what we take from the renewable resource is less than the capacity of water to be renewed, and there is no water stress and no saline intrusion. Together, these two conditions have to be satisfied, and also the good chemical status has to be in good conditions, which means both for surface and groundwater bodies that concentrations of pollutants have to be inferior to the quality standards that have been fixed on a toxicological and ecotoxicological basis. So this is the concept of that science provided to EU Water Framework Directive and underpins the directive. And this means that the objective is resumed in all European water bodies have to achieve good environmental status, surface water and groundwater. How do we do that? How do we protect and sustainable use water bodies and proactively manage radon floods? Through a 6-year river basin management planning cycle, which consists of different stages like knowing, characterizing our catchment pressure and resources, monitoring, trying to assess the status according to those criteria, and if the status is not good, then we put in place program measures, and these measures have to work and enhance the status. We monitor, we get the lesson learned, and then we start the cycle again. Part of the program measures also are referred to drought management by adopting, for example, climate-proof measures, such as what is called the nature-based solutions. In Italy, the directive was transposed into the National Environmental Act. And for Italian legislation, we have 7 river basin districts, and the authorities in charge of the districts provide for the river basin district plan, which is in Italy a master plan which tries to put together socioeconomic needs and the need to protect environment and all natural resources. And this river basin district plan is very ambitious and very huge. So the law also allows to have this plan implemented in sub-plans, such as the Water Framework Directive River Basin District Management Plan and the Flood Risk Management Plan. Moreover, we have in Italy also landslide risk management plan, and the drought provisions are included in the WFD management plan. And across the different plans, we also have a riverbed in district sediment management plans, because we recognize that sediments are part of the ingredients for the habitat. So we have to manage it consistently. And then we have a sectorial plan, which is a water balance plan. And of course, the river basin district is the unit to manage water, but we have administrative regions. So 1 republic, 20 regions, 2 autonomous provinces, and water is a natural resource and part of the environment. And the environment is exclusive competence of the state. So the state defines the strategy and the national objectives of sustainable development, like climate change adaptation plan and energy strategy, environment protection legislation. And this is then downscaled at the regional level. So the plan is defined at the river basin district level, and it has to comply with national legislation, which in turn is transport from European legislation. The plan is approved by a committee which is chaired by the Ministry of Environment, as he is the competent person, but integration of needs is also occurring when the plan is approved, because there are representatives from the relevant ministry like agriculture, infrastructure, which also deals with irrigation and so on. And then, as I said before, the plan is downscaled at the regional level through water protection plans, which are more detailed, both in terms of knowledge and in terms of measures. So at the regional levels, most of the measures are funded. And all the other development plans, or land development plans, or economic plans of development, have to comply with the River Basin District plan, with the regional downscale plans, in terms, for example, of constraints on the use of land, or the use of the natural resources. So going to the key points of today's workshop, which were listed in the invitation, all of them are dealing on the how to satisfy all the socioeconomic needs we have in a changing climate where temperature are rising and water resources availability is changing, quantity is reducing, concentration of water resource availability is changing in space and time. But first of all, we need to account for climate change impacts on the hydrological cycle, so in turn on the ecosystem and water demand. And a crucial point that we have to face is that our prediction, or our way of predicting or forecasting drought and other hydrological events must be reviewed, because that is based on long-term statistics, and these statistics are not, let's say, usable anymore. We have to acknowledge that the hydrometeorological phenomena occurring in the last years are new and totally different from those occurring in the past. So we cannot use the same models, and we need to gain more and more information. We need to provide for more monitoring, more adaptive monitoring activity, intensive, and also to adapt our governance approaches. So you can see that I'm showing you this because the 2022 was the year where we had let's say, radical change in legislation to accept and face this challenge. And 2022, as I said before, had what was so drastic. It had enormous impact on productive sectors, on agriculture, on energy, and you can see here how this availability is decreasing also in time. And the percentage of Italian territory subject to drought events showed an increase, which is statistically significant, and the trend is significant. Water and energy demand increased, and the conflict for water use went to the maximum. And the negotiations were carried out thanks to the River Basin District observatories that my colleague was describing before. And there, the different sectors, including the environmental protection, of course, agreed on how to share in time water, how to allocate water to satisfy the minimum requirements for irrigation and hydropower. And from this, a new piece of legislation was issued in 2023, which made these observatories become established part of River Basin District authorities, a proper body of River Basin District authority, and establish all the rule of functioning of the observatories, of course. As my colleague said before, among the different competencies of the observatories is the evaluation water severity status at the district and regional levels. And this is based on the capacity of current water resource to satisfy water demand. So we can have no severity, low, medium, and high severity consistently with the capacity or the lack of capacity to satisfy demand. So you can see the state of water severity now, a few days ago, and you can see the severity in August 2022. And where red is high severity, and it means there is emergency, and some also exemption from regular legislation have to be allowed. So the same legislation also included a set of measures to efficiently use water resources, to avoid overexploitation, to avoid illegal abstraction. So one relevant measure was to define the field of usage of treated water for agriculture, also transposing regulation from the European Union, or how to where and how to implement the salinization plants, and how to make a, let's say, good use of agricultural genetics to have more resilient productions. And then also another provision was to ensure continuity of energy production, for example, in very well precise conditions, how to exempt, to having exemption to the limits on, for example, the temperatures of water discharge by the production plants and others. And the same legislation also established a control room for water crisis at the national level when the severity is really high. The president of the Council of Ministry, Madame Meloni, is coordinating this board of ministries, including, of course, environment and energy safety, infrastructure, agriculture and food security, the civil protection, regional affairs, and so on. And when the crisis is really serious, of course, they have special provisions on at the national level on allocations for the great departments in the territory. And then there was also the establishment of a commissioner for drought with a finished time mandate since 2023 to assess the status of all the dams in the country. As I said before, we have more than 500 big dams and thousands of smaller dams, because we wanted to assess the capacity that still have to satisfy national needs, and also enhancement actions like, for example, the problem of sediments in the dams, or the retrofitting of some hydraulic mechanism to release water, and so on. To assess current future water scenarios, especially water demand, so that proposal from adaptation measures, including also infrastructure, could be issued by the commissioner. And last point, but in our opinion, the most important, to enhance data sharing activity. Monitoring the knowledge part of it, not only because I'm a researcher, but because it's at the basis of an informed decision, is the first measure to adapt to this changing climate and to increasing drought episodes, increasing water scarcity. Monitoring water availability in space and time, and sharing information across the authorities, the stakeholder, the citizen, is the first no regret indispensable measure, because we manage what we know. So we need it for an adapted and efficient management. So years ago, the Ministry of Environment launched a national project to create a platform, we call it the system of the systems, and integrate all existing information, like from monitoring, from also, let's say, geographic information, information from drones, information from historic documents, all together in a platform, which is called the Integrated Long-Term Monitoring and Forecasting Systems, and it's funded with the Recovery Fund from Europe. And this system underpins also the implementation of measures for the maintenance of the territory, water protection, modernization of infrastructure, as well, of course, supporting the national level, the continuous knowledge of the environment and the territory in order to direct intervention aimed at preventing the risk of climate change on 6 main topics of interest. So the risk of climate change in terms of floods, drought, and landslides, precision agriculture, to save water, marine pollution, especially from plastic, environmental offenses, so illegal action on environment causing damage, then also emergencies in general, multiple emergencies, and not the least forest fires, which have increased with this increase of temperature. The system.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Just 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, this is just my last. Let me go.
Okay.
Yeah. So the system in a nutshell, the system of the systems will link to all the existing platform and database, provide access to hydrological and hydraulic models, and allow an aware, sustainable, adaptive, and efficient management of our water resources. It's all coordinated by the Ministry of Environment, but anybody in the country is involved at different levels, institutions, citizens, and so on. With this, I've finished, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Excusez-moi, oui, je disais. Merci Martina, c'était très intéressant, très complet. Et vos 2 exposés avec celui de Giovanni sont très complémentaires, puisqu'on a vu à la fois les actions sur le niveau du bassin, qui est local, mais quand même assez important en surface, et le niveau national, et puis tout l'aspect innovation, bien cohérent entre les deux niveaux. Alors, je vais poser, peut-être c'est une question qui concerne l'un ou l'autre, hein, vous pouvez répondre l'un ou l'autre. Il y a une question sur l'agriculture, hein, donc la consommation d'eau par les périmètres irrigués. Donc, il y a eu des déficits importants d'approvisionnement. Donc, comment est-ce qu'on peut traiter ça avec les agriculteurs? Et est-ce que les tarifs, quels sont les tarifs de l'eau pour l'agriculture?
Is the question to me or Giovanni?
Alors, qui est le mieux placé pour répondre?
Well, Martina, if you want to, ladies first.
I don't know which is the current tariff, but it's quite easy to be found. So I can send you all the details. If we get this kind of questions, we will be able to reply, because I'm not aware of all things. So.
No, me neither, but I can say that here in Italy there's a big discussion about water tariff, because they are one of the lower in Europe, but the managers are trying to bring to attention that the costs for water treatment is increasing, so that there's a big discussion, and also because of water scarcity, the costs increase. So these aspects are not dealt by my institution or Martina institutions, but we are assisting to this. We are viewing this kind of discussion in Italy, and the best we can do is to set proper and very detailed water balance in order to plan also the political effects of these teams in order to manage at national and local level the price of water to respond to all the needs. But in details, we are not the ones who decide these details.
D'accord, merci beaucoup. Alors, il y a une dernière question que je pose et qui, vous avez parlé tous les deux donc de digitalisation, de refonte complète du système d'information sur l'eau, sur les usages, très complète. Donc ça, c'est un sujet qui intéresse tous les membres de l'IME dans tous les pays. Nous avons d'ailleurs, on avait eu pour le forum de Tunis un thème spécifique sur toutes les questions de digitalisation. Et donc, je crois que ça va continuer avec votre expérience pour le prochain forum. Juste une question, si vous pouvez répondre à ça. Quand on parle de système d'information sur l'eau, il y a bien entendu tous les outils informatiques, comme vous avez présenté, toutes les possibilités qu'offre la technologie moderne avec les capteurs, les modèles, les mises en relief de toutes les cartes. Ça, c'est un peu la couche informatique, je vais dire, mais ça ne peut exister qu'à condition d'avoir aussi une couche de terrain, de relevé, d'observation, de mesure, avec des collectes d'informations, par exemple les compteurs, la qualité de l'eau avec des prélèvements. Donc cette partie de mesure, hein, qui est importante et qui peut être plus coûteuse finalement que la partie informatique. Alors, est-ce que pour l'Italie ou pour votre bassin, est-ce qu'il y a un investissement important à faire sur les mesures, les programmes de mesure et de suivi de qualité, de quantité d'eau?
Yes, this is an important question, and I think that here we in Italy are investing on this because there are very large projects. One is the last slide Martina mentioned, the CSIM project by the ministry. So I think that all the experience at the national level are bringing to a synergy of sources, so to use data both from the various sources, from the satellite together with the field data, because for instance, for the rainfall, there are projects that are joining the rainfall sensors in the field together with the radar sensors, together with the satellite information. So I think that the technology now allow us to cross several information and to have a broader and deeper view of the phenomena that rotate around the water world. And in our territory, we are developing this GIS project that I show you some topics that is feasible, is intelligible from users, for standard users, and it's very fast to work with, to build. And yes, I think that it is feasible. It has a cost, but it is a good investment.
Merci beaucoup pour vos présentations et vos réponses aussi. Je crois que maintenant, il est temps de passer aux conclusions générales de ce webinaire. Et donc, je vais vous dire que nous sommes vraiment très heureux de ce qui a été présenté parce que on se rend compte que même si vous avez l'initiative, hein, de choisir vos sujets, il y a une très bonne cohérence avec le programme de travail que le comité scientifique et technique de l'IME est en train de préparer pour se préparer à présenter des nouveautés au Forum méditerranéen de Rome en 2026 et puis au Forum mondial qui suivra. Nous avons déjà imaginé des groupes de travail au sein de l'IME avec des pilotes. Mais bien sûr, les pilotes ne peuvent pas faire le travail tout seuls, hein. Ils ont besoin de faire appel à des collaborations avec les différents pays membres de l'IME, que ce soit en Europe, au sud ou à l'est de la Méditerranée. Et donc, les thèmes que vous avez présentés, justement, sont déjà bien identifiés dans le programme de travail du comité. Le comité est dirigé par notre ami Mokhtar Bzioui, qui doit être en ligne d'ailleurs pour assister à cette conférence. Par exemple, un des thèmes, ça s'appelle la digitalisation. Donc, tous les outils informatiques, toutes les collectes de données dont on a parlé, c'est un thème qui va être travaillé et piloté donc par notre ami Nicolas Roche, qui pourra prendre ainsi le contact avec certains d'entre vous et collecter, progresser euh, pour amener des nouvelles idées, des nouvelles exemples de réussite au prochain forum. Un autre thème qui est prévu, c'est autour de la durabilité, hein. On va parler des objectifs de développement durable, mais bien sûr, quels sont les systèmes durables? Et on a vu dans les exposés, hein, aussi bien pour la Turquie que pour l'Italie, que vous cherchez forcément à garantir une utilisation durable des ressources en eau, mais pas uniquement l'eau, aussi l'énergie qui est nécessaire pour produire de l'eau et la traiter. Et la même chose, l'énergie doit devenir plus renouvelable pour être plus durable. Donc on a là aussi tout un domaine qui va être que je vais piloter moi-même d'ailleurs, hein, mais je vais essayer d'être en contact et avec plusieurs d'entre vous pour rassembler des éléments et faire le bilan de ce qui progresse et surtout les expériences réussies que l'on trouve dans nos différents pays. Un autre sujet, qui est piloté par le Conseil scientifique et technique. On avait appelé ça jusqu'à présent le livre blanc de la Méditerranée. Bon, ça veut dire une espèce de bilan sur la situation, les problèmes rencontrés et les besoins principaux au niveau de tous les pays, mais pour en faire une synthèse internationale, hein, qui va notamment intéresser l'Union pour la Méditerranée ou les organismes de financement. Et je pense qu'avec ces présentations que l'on va continuer dans la série de webinaires, on obtient ainsi beaucoup d'informations pour élaborer ce livre blanc. Voilà, je rappelle donc à tout le monde que nos séminaires nos webinaires sont enregistrés et vous pouvez les consulter sur la chaîne YouTube de l'Institut méditerranéen de l'eau. En allant sur le site de l'Institut, vous pouvez trouver ces enregistrements et reconsulter à nouveau les présentations. De notre côté, on essaiera de faire euh, une synthèse, hein, des points importants de ce webinaire pour en garder trace justement dans les événements futurs. Et donc, je remercie d'avance les présentateurs, les orateurs pour rester en contact avec nous et faire une synthèse de ce webinaire. Donc, je vais terminer, même si on est un petit peu en avance. Pour une fois, on n'est pas en retard. Mais merci aussi aux interprètes, hein, puisqu'il faut arriver à traduire, même si nous parlons à toute vitesse. Donc, ils ont bien réussi leur contribution. Merci donc aux interprètes, merci aux orateurs et merci à vos questions. Et comme le disait notre président, rendez-vous pour un prochain webinaire en janvier. Cette fois-ci aura comme sujet les grands barrages. Voilà, je vous remercie pour votre attention et bonne fin de journée.